What is up, guys? Welcome back to the JMA Podcast. I am your host, John Murray. We are in the second week of May. Thank you for joining us. Waiting for Jeremy to. There we go.
Yes, I have been released from my imprisonment
It's
in the YouTube space. Or
the genie in the lamp.
yes, you have awakened me for one podcast and one press conference before I go back to box.
All right. And I think Nate's saying that we can't hear Jeremy, or he can't hear Jeremy. So let's just make sure. Boom, boom.
Okay, what about now? Can you hear me now, boss? Hello, hello, hello. Why is StreamYard being no funno? I don't like it.
This is odd. Maybe it's
What
him.
about it?
All right, I can hear you. I'm going to assume since Dalton's not saying anything that he can hear you as well. Our special guest this week is Nathan Clouse, an aspiring kickboxer out of Indiana.
Okay, bet. So Dalton can hear me. Okay, interesting. So it might be a. We'll have to watch that once we get Nathan on here in the audio here in just a little bit. Make sure that everything's going well and he can hear everybody. But Dalton can hear me. You can hear me. Okay.
But before we bring him on, we have some news updates and upcoming events to announce. Sean Strickland threatens to shoot Khamzat Chimaev and his team. That was a crazy experience. I think that has the UFC on edge. I heard they added extra security to the event.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff going on with Sean Strickland, man. I think they avoided doing a face off. They actually avoided doing a pre-fight face off because of it. But I mean, that was also taken out of context too. Sean said, "Hey, if you fight me one on one, that's cool. But if you jump me with 5 random people, I'm gonna start shooting." And I mean,
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Isn't that context not wrong?
yeah, the context is a little bit correct. I mean, but yeah.
I
Moving on,
mean,
moving on.
Strickland's not right, but the context.
Look. Strickland is making as big of a headspace going into his fight as we are getting. I won't say it's as hyped as the White House guard, but I mean we're definitely like it.
I
It's
mi-
man.
I missed the shit talking of Chael Sonnen.
Okay, yeah. Well, Chael was a different breed though. Chael knew how to talk crap, but respectfully, or at least not even, or to do it in a way that was entertaining without crossing the line. And
And speaking of entertaining without crossing the line and shit talking, Jake Paul announced his plans to just poach the entire UFC roster. What
yeah,
business fucking model?
so I mean, yeah, Jake was. I mean, he's been talking about doing that for a minute. He pays everybody more money, so it just it makes sense. Um, I can. Sorry, guys. For some reason,
Blanken? It's all good. I mean, this is entirely what the UFC did back in its early days. They poached off the other promotions. I'm running the blanks on the early or other names, but yeah, that's pretty much what they did to boost their roster early on. Is they'd let other promotions kind of farm the athletes, and then once they were good, they would poach them right off the roster. Finishing up the news segment, going on to upcoming regional events, we have the Rival FC on May 9th in Paducah, Kentucky. And the same day, we also have Chronic Combat May 9th in Manhattan, New York. With the following weekend, Hammer Challenge Series Fight Night returning May 15th to Hazlitt, New Jersey, with Capital District Basketball League on May 17th that same weekend in Albany, New York. Future of Fighting May 29th in Louisville, Kentucky, and Hammer Challenge Series HCS 34 returning May 30th in Hatboro, PA. Finally, Hub City MMA returns June 27th to Jacksonville, Tennessee. Upcoming sports streams from Jmurrayathletics include the MMA Brain weekly on Mondays with Jeremy Fairhurst, our lovely co-host here. We also have the Capital District Basketball League 1v1 tournament returning on the 17th. You guys can watch that directly through J. Murray Athletics. And special shout out to Ruby Farms and Mr. Greens in Colony, New York. Appreciate you guys. Viewers can use discount code JMA Podcast to get a one-time 10% off their first-time purchase. VIP section subscribers get monthly 10% discount code to use on supplements and products across the Jmurrayathletics store. Subscribe today. All right, guys, without further ado, I think he's waited long enough. We have Nathan Clouse sitting backstage. Let's bring him to the floor. My friend, thank you for waiting. Thank you for being here. And thank you for coming, asking to come on as well.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate y'all letting me on and I appreciate the opportunity to get some exposure.
Nah, for sure, man. I think we were talking about how you got how you kind of came to join us before we kick started that. We had a you and Jeremy had started a conversation there.
Yeah, he was asking me how I knew Dominic Bennett, which was the guy that you guys had interviewed him, I think, a few months ago.
Yep.
Uh, he was my third opponent, and I was his first kickboxing opponent. I think he had a couple MMA fights before he fought me. Um, that's how I knew him. And then after we fought, we trained together once. After we had added each other on social media, and then he came down to the gym at the time, and he had trained with me and some of the guys at the gym. We got a session in, and then from then on, we just kind of chop it up here and there, about the fight game. And then I seen him on here, and I asked you all about coming on, and here I am.
Facts. All right. Oh shit, man. You've had a little bit of career here. It was hard to find your record. I ain't gonna lie. I did a little bit of searching. Unfortunately, it seems with kickboxing they don't record it the same way they do MMA or boxing.
Well, before last year, the kickboxing here wasn't sanctioned, so technically, two of my fights aren't on Tapology. Only the one with Bennett, and then the one with Keith Hamilton is on there. That was my loss, was against Keith Hamilton. Um, but yeah, before that year, they hadn't sanctioned it yet, so all you had to do was make sure you had a med team there, and I'm a med team, and I'm pretty sure that was it. And you didn't have to. You had to get blood work done, but that was it
Really, Indiana didn't have any sanctioning for until like a few years ago.
for
That's,
kickboxing specifically.
that's
Like
crazy.
I didn't have to be licensed. Like last year, it was right after like when I fought Dominic, it was in the process, and then it happened like over the summer, I believe.
Huh.
And then when I fought uh, in September, we had to have our license and all that, and they just took it and acted like it was sanctioned for the entire year.
What got you into kickboxing instead of like something like MMA?
Um, I mean, really, I've always liked striking better than wrestling personally, but I don't have as much experience on the ground as I do striking. Like growing up, I was always getting in fist fights and stuff like that in school, and I just like striking better. It's something satisfying about being able to fight on the feet.
No, no, I feel that.
I
Uh,
do want to get into MMA eventually, but my ground game definitely has to upgrade before I do that.
I feel that. I think you're current. If I'm remembering correctly, you're 4-3,
I am 3-1.
3-1. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, you're good.
I've been looking at a lot of fight records today,
Hey,
as you already know. I apologize.
yeah, no,
That's
you're good, brother.
um. s- So where did the other two fights happen? I couldn't find. I found the one with Dominic Bennett, and I found the other one through Tapology. Where did they take place? How'd you
So my
get that?
my first one was through Impacto Promotions. You can find them on Facebook or YouTube, and that was in July of, I want to say July of 23, maybe it's been a long time. Yeah, July of 23, and then my second one was through Coleman Kickboxing. Uh, it was in March of 24. And then I had a charity boxing event. It's on YouTube as well that my gym had hosted it. Um, you would have to just type in my name and then type in a charity boxing event to find that one. That was right after my second kickboxing fight, but that one was just like an exhibition. We were trying to raise money to get a new gym,
Okay,
and
that's.
then
Did you guys?
yeah,
Were you guys able to raise the funds?
yeah, we did, but then like I said, it ended up we were there at the we started with like a little studio gym, and then we raised the money and we got a new gym. We had a cage, a ring, like it was a pretty good facility, but the coaching wasn't great and the coach wasn't really dedicated to the gym. He was more worried about the money in my opinion. But
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people in the industry are like that.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
all my fights are on YouTube and on their Coleman Kickboxing's Facebook also.
so
I've
was your
had three through Coleman and one through Impacto.
so your last fight was in September 25th or 2025?
Yeah, yeah. That was my first loss against Keith Hamilton. I lost that one by decision.
What do you think went wrong there?
Um, I'm not gonna make excuses, but I was sick 2 weeks before that, and I trained through it. I put 100% into my camp. I felt like my camp was great. It was also a month after my gym had closed. It was a month before my gym had closed down. Or no, I'm sorry. I fought him a month after my gym had closed down. So like peak camp, my gym shut down. So I had to go to like I had to just resort to the old way, start in the backyard. Had to revert back. But no man, I just think he was just a better fighter that night. I left it all in the cage. He had more volume. Um he had more he had bigger moments in the fight and I didn't really land anything to get his respect. I didn't have that my cardio was just gone. It was just not there.
What would you do differently going into that?
Uh I mean watching it back, man, I feel like if I would have had the cardio that fight, I do believe I would have won, but I don't know. I left it 100% in there, so I can't make an excuse and say what I would do differently because the next time, if I got a chance again, it would be, a different camp. I put a little more effort into my cardio. Not that I didn't before, but being sick definitely tanked it. I was coughing in the back during warm ups, and there was snot coming out of my nose. I got hit low, and when I stood up, snot had flew out of my nose, and the commentary had mentioned it, but they thought it was because I got hit in the nuts, but it was legitimately because I was sick. I
Damn.
wasn't sick anymore, but it was just lingering.
Did that hit clear you up a little bit?
Oh yeah, yeah. Cleared my sinuses right up, man. I was like, whew.
Jeremy needs one.
But yeah, not one like that. It was it was like a switch kick, and he landed. He was trying to throw it to the body, and he landed right on my stuff. Man,
Ooh.
What was your toughest fight you think so far?
my toughest fight was probably my second fight against Drake Pope. I had only had one fight, and side note, my first fight was against a guy that wasn't very experienced. I wasn't very experienced either, but he probably shouldn't have even been in there. And it was going so smooth for me that it was surprising me, and I was just like coasting through. So then when I fought Drake Pope in my second fight through Coleman, Drake Pope really introduced me to like this is kickboxing, you know what I mean? Like we didn't have shin pads on. He's a big boy too. Like we made the same weight, but weight cutting is serious in the sport, and he was a lot. The commentary even mentioned like he looks like he's in a bigger weight class than me, and and he was walking through all my shots, man. And I'm known for like my heavy hands, and he was just walking through everything, and I was being very aggressive, but I knocked him out in the second round.
It still intrigues me that they allow amateurs to go without shin guards in Indiana. Like,
Yeah,
Kentucky has some of the most, like, do whatever you want MMA rules in the US. Like, you can
right.
knee somebody straight in the face and fight
Dang.
one, but, like, even in like, a championship fight in kickboxing in Kentucky, I'm pretty sure you still have to wear headgear and shin
Yeah,
guards.
yeah.
So,
Dominic did when he fought Dylan,
yep.
right?
Yeah, that's right, and I mean, that's so weird to me how
Hey,
they but
I
no,
go ahead.
no, you go, man.
Oh, I was just gonna say, my first fight I did fight in shin pads. Like the promotion didn't give us the option, but then when I went to Coleman Kickboxing, which is who I've had my last three fights through, and that's also who me and Dominic fought through. Um, he does give you the option, but like if your opponent says, "Hey, I want to wear shin guards," you have to oblige him and wear shin guards as well. Um,
That's respectable though.
yeah, and I would do it like if someone asked, because after I fought Dominic, like I was using my kicks a lot, and some of those kicks be landing on the elbow or he'd be blocking them, and my foot was pretty banged up. Like I couldn't put my boot on Monday to go to work. I had to call off work. It was pretty banged up.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, especially for an amateur match, like why not wear the shin guards? I'm
Yeah,
just gonna be that guy, but I
yeah.
mean, again,
I
I'm the
understand for sure.
I'm the podcaster, dude. So I mean,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
hey,
take the bitch away out and be like, look, man, like I don't want to feel it tomorrow. We
I
could do this, and you could outpoint me and still whoop me real good, and let everybody know, and we
yeah,
could
oh
both.
yeah,
So, I mean, at the same time, I get it. Like, if you're going for like a pro career and you're
yeah,
wanting to like really like get used to that, and you want the full experience, then yeah, by
for
all
sure.
means, take the shin
Yeah,
guards off.
and that's part of it is like for me personally is like if I go in here and we don't have shin pads on and we're using 10-ounce gloves and we don't have headgear, like this is basically a pro fight, except we're amateurs, and like no one can take it away from me. No one can be like, oh well, you were wearing shin pads or you were wearing headgear. Not that it matters, because at the end of the day, like it's a fight, and like I've seen plenty of guys get knocked out with shin pads, plenty of them. You know what I mean? So it really doesn't make a difference. And I have debated it a couple times. Like, do I want to wear shin pads in this one? And then I'm like, nah, I've already not done it. So
Yeah. I mean, at the
And then
point.
that make,
Go ahead.
my bad, I mean, and that makes sense though. Like you're wanting to go pro, you're
yeah,
wanting to have that full experience, so you want every check mark. And I mean, we've talked about that before. Like, there's a big difference even in the amateur leagues between somebody who wants to compete a couple times and somebody
yeah,
who is looking this as a career path.
yeah,
And it's like, a lot of those guys tend to want you want the most realistic experience as soon as possible. I've seen a
exactly.
lot of these guys from like the East Coast and stuff have expressed interest in fighting in the Midwest because of how lax some of our rules are. Because
Yeah.
like in New York, like if you're doing MMA, I think like less than 3 fights, you can't even like ground and pound. Like if you
Oh,
take
really?
yeah, like if you take somebody down, is that correct, John? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it
I want to say you're correct. If I'm recalling correctly, there's something in amateur rules where you can't ground and pound.
I don't know how many fights it is, but like I remember there was like it was
Look,
at least your first couple. Yeah, like you can grapple, but the second you start grappling, no punches can be exchanged. I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
it's interesting to see like where's the line of like
Being a May
unnecessary
wrestling.
danger versus like over regulation.
all right.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
the New York rules define a grounded fighter safe from knees, kicks to the head as having any body part besides the hands or feet touching the canvas.
Well, yeah, that's just yeah.
That's basic. Grounded, illegal, 612 elbows, amateur restrictions, amateur bouts, scouting prohibit. I'm not seeing anything under the ground and pound, but I do recall something to. What's effective? No. Yeah, I do recall something to the effect of what you're saying though, because I've seen that happen where I was like, why aren't they just pounding his face in? But you can't actually. And didn't
Kilkenny say
no,
something about it.
no, it was Randy Miley, I think, said something about it in PA, where she mentioned her technique where like she does something to as an alternative to get the sub.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. We've done so many. Yeah, I apologize. I digress. I apologize. We're
Oh, you're
starting to go on
good.
a whole
Hey,
separate
you're good, man.
tangent.
Hey, I
Um,
do the same thing. I start rambling too. I'm like trailing off on stuff.
We're throwing Easter eggs out from previous podcasts. Go check
Yeah,
out Bill Kenny and Randy Miley's episodes.
definitely will. I will for
bruh,
sure.
shame.
I need something to listen to at work. So
Hey, bro, look, I will say this. Well, we've had some interesting characters on, and that's one of the things I do enjoy about this kind of work is that like
We get to meet some
once you the
amazing.
more people you meet, the more you network, and the more people
Oh
seem
yeah,
interested. Like it's a
definitely a
never.
good way to network.
So like you're several fights in at this point. What if you're looking to go pro? And from what say, it sounds like that's definitely the path that you're on.
Yeah, for
Is
sure.
there like a specific organization that you're gunning for? Is there a well? What is your career path in your mind right now?
I have if I get to 10 fights and I still have a winning record as an amateur, I'm gonna go pro. And I want to make sure I have 10 fights because at this point, like if you got 10 fights, it don't matter if this guy's got 20 fights, 30 fights, it don't matter. But Coleman is probably who I would like to fight for the most part through like when I first start out, and I'll take it however far. Like I'll take a phone call from I don't really know any big time kickboxing promotions. So the ultimate goal is MMA, but like I said, I got to train on the ground a little bit more first. Like
Doesn't
we train MMA, but none of us are like black belts in jujitsu or anything like that. Like my buddies won a couple grappling tournaments, but that's really it. We watch some videos and roll around, but it's not our main focus most of the time because we're all kickboxing.
Fair
isn't
enough.
doesn't one FC do kickboxing now?
Yeah, I would definitely love to fight for ONE FC. If they're paying the right money that where I can go overseas, and still be able to support my family or bring my family with me on the travel when I travel, like that'd be perfect. But right now I got to think realistic.
Yeah.
I'm 29, I'll be 30 this year, so yeah, I ain't got a long clock.
Yeah, that's it.
Fair
That's
enough.
that seems to be the unfortunate reality for a lot of fighters is like that time clock really is a big deal for
Yeah,
everyone. Opposed to other sports where you might be able to compete until you're 40, maybe if you're lucky 50 in some
yeah,
cases. But like in MMA, it's a whole different beast. You can't get hit like that when you're
no,
40 and 50.
nah, man, I don't like getting hit like that. I'm 29, you know what I mean, and I'm in good shape right now, so it's like I'm not trying to like we spar a lot, but it's never anything crazy. So like we
Okay,
definitely try to take care of our brains and make sure we
yeah,
get our
no,
right recovery. So
yeah, no, of course. And I mean that safe training. Yeah, this is something again of where is the line between uh being overcautious and being realistic because like you've got to have some experience. Like, you got to experience some controversy in the gym before you
yes,
experience it in the cage for sure. But there's also a line between that and just beating the brakes off of your teammates.
yeah,
And I mean, I've done both. Like when I was like back training a little bit, I'm not like I did like, but I remember going in and like when I was actively training and you improve a lot more on those days that you're having fun than the days
yeah.
you're going
Oh yeah,
home with a black eye and both your legs
yeah,
busted up and you're
man.
like
I'm
like
telling you, I'm
so,
telling you, man.
so if you're one is you said so this Coleman product that's what I wanted to ask you about. You said it was Coleman Kickboxing, right?
Yeah.
So that's who you've had the majority of your fights through. That's who you said if you went pro, you'd like to start out through them for a couple fights. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you like about that promotion? What got you started off with them?
Okay. Yeah. Um. First, I like the promoter, Travis Coleman. He's just a really down to earth guy. He's had a lot of experience. And for me, a lot of these promoters be trying to set guys up, like set a fighter that's, got 2 fights up with a guy that's got 8, 9 fights, you know what I mean, to hype him up. For me, Travis hasn't done that. Like I've been offered some crazy opponents, and Travis hasn't done that for me. You know what I mean? He always gives me a good matchup. Like me and Dominic were a perfect matchup. We went 3 rounds. It was a good fight. That's Dominic right there. He whooped this dude, to be honest. Um,
Okay, I thought that I'd heard the name. I bet you that's why was he. I had just seen that competition. Okay,
yeah, yep.
cool.
Um, they're really like they're really it's just they just seem more professional than other, like I've been to a few other events like with my guys fighting or just supporting a homie or something, and they're just more professional, man. They just got it. They just seem like they got their stuff together a lot better. I don't know.
This looks well put together.
Yeah,
Just from
it
like the
is.
brief, like we're
Yeah,
scrolling through the John Zoom right now. They definitely look prepared. They've got it's a pretty full crowd too. I mean, they've got
and
This
yeah,
was
man, they
so
sell out almost every show. And also like I feel like Coleman has the most talented fighters that out of most of the promotions I've seen. I mean, there's some really good guys for other promotions, and I'm assuming like traveling is probably the problem because a lot of guys ain't gonna want to drive 3 4 hours to fight. Like I have to drive 2.5 hours if I want to fight for him, but it's worth it to me. Me and my wife get an Airbnb. We just stay in the town he's hosting in, and we just have a good time. I go fight and we just
oh,
hang out. They have
fair
really good
enough.
pictures and stuff like that too.
So they treat the fighters well, and there's so they. I mean, it says something too for a promotion when the fighters themselves are saying, "Hey, I'm willing to drive the 2 hours to come to you guys."
Yeah,
Like,
for
I
sure.
mean, that's a huge. So, okay, yeah, shout out Coleman Kickboxing Entertainment. Then we'll definitely have to check them out because
Yeah,
de-
they definitely have their stuff together, man.
they just gotta follow.
huh? They just
They,
gotta follow. Okay, first, nice,
Heck yeah,
nice.
sweet. Yeah,
No,
all
no,
my three of my fights are on there. If you scroll through their stuff, later if you want to see them or something, they're on there. Um, Go
oh
ahead, man.
yes, sir. Yeah, no, 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 yes, sir. Yeah, like I said, I definitely want to catch up a little bit and see what do you have any upcoming fights coming up, or do you have anything set in motion there, or what's your plan at the moment?
Okay, so I was supposed to fight a guy in April on the same night Dominic fought someone, but I've broken my ribs twice. Um, and I broke them again in training in sparring.
Hmm.
Usually we don't spar hard, but I was sparring a guy or up. I was gonna fight a guy that's really good, and he's down. You know what I mean? He bumps, and he's a brawler. So I was trying to up my sparring a little bit. I took a knee to the ribs and cracked my ribs again. Um,
Hmm.
I didn't even realize it until a few days later, and then I was at work. I went to the doctor, and they checked me out, gave me a note. Told me probably shouldn't compete, probably shouldn't train, don't be doing anything too physical. So long story short, that fight fell out. But Travis Coleman, the promoter, he said his next card, me and that guy will probably he'll set the fight up again for me, and I believe that's in October. And I'm trying to be a little more active than that, so I'm gonna try to get a July or August card. I've reached out to a few promoters trying to see if they are putting one together. A lot of guys are having them in June right now, and that's just a little early for me.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, props to you for actually like taking the time to like watch your health while still actively seeking a reentry. Because I mean, there's
Yeah,
a
for
fine
sure.
line between bravery and just putting yourself back. So
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't gonna
awesome.
go in there and lose a fight because I got an injury and maybe not be able to work at all for the next months. So
Yeah, especially as an amateur, there's
yeah,
no reason to put yourself on the line like that.
not at all.
Especially when you have a working relationship with like yeah, you've already had multiple fights. It's and there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of people who don't compete who try to just clout that they
Yeah,
love to like oh that dude pulled out because these injuries are important.
and they're serious,
Like
man. Yeah,
like they're like if you go try to fight through that, no one is going to just look at some Facebook comments. But yeah, you know what? That dude said I'm a pussy. I'm definitely gonna
yeah,
risk putting food on my girlfriend on my wife's table.
yeah. Not
Like but
not gonna
no.
happen.
but
It,
look at the situation with Nate, where well, now he can't fight even longer because he went into that title fight too early.
well, I mean, it's one of those situations where no matter what you do with different fights, different injuries, it's just a fine line. So
Yeah, exactly.
nah, my apologies. I just
You're
blanked
good,
out
bro.
for a
Hey,
second.
it's all
Do you,
good, man.
do you mind if I switch things up?
Go for it.
How do you feel about running some trivia? Because I know you got to get going soon,
Are
and
you wait? Am I running trivia? Is that the
we can do it.
okay?
We only got three tonight. We just lost our producer for a moment. He's going to set up the press conference, which we got going on right after this. And I figured
Okay.
Jeremy's bouncing out soon. We'll have him run the trivia, and then I'll close out with our good friend Nate.
All right, man. Yeah, all right. Let's go in and yeah, let's do trivia. That works.
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right. So, Nathan, pretty simple trivia. We got 3 questions. It's just a fun little game or game time piece that they do. Try to keep things fun and comical. So,
Right on. But
just I don't even know what the questions are gonna be. I don't know if we sometimes we use something we've used previously. Sometimes they're brand new. We'll see what John threw together this time. But yeah, John, whenever.
I got you.
Okay, interesting. John, whenever you're ready, go for it. Which fighter holds the record for the fastest knockout in UFC history?
We're gonna have to go with Masvidal.
Masvidal. All right. Yeah, I feel like this one's a pretty easy one for anybody who's been really watching the UFC. Frank, at this point,
Yeah, for sure.
you think this is being beat anytime soon? Because the crazy part about that knockout is like. There were several seconds that man was already unconscious before
Oh yeah, he cracked him after too.
Yeah, I mean that knee he was at. I mean, it was more like I think the official. I don't even know what the official stoppage is. It's got to be like 5 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's
Like,
something super light.
look, the knockout was like 2. Like,
Oh yeah, he was sleep quick.
all right, let's see. What's this one? Which catfish? Which what the fuck?
I'm a fisherman, so he probably put one together for
Okay.
fishing.
Which catfish species is most commonly targeted with live bait near submerged timber?
Flathead.
Flathead. All right. Wait, you know what? That actually, okay. I feel like I knew that actually. My
Hey.
Boy Scout days are coming back. Okay.
They lazy,
All right.
man.
Man, no, there ain't nothing better than some good catfish.
I swear.
There's nothing better than some good. Well, maybe some frog legs are good too, but I've never went hunted frogs like that, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, I've never had them, so
No, dude, bruh. Well, we
I'll
had
try
this
'em, though.
Chinese buffet that had some frog legs here once upon a time. I got a plate full. Those things are moving. Anywho, all right, we got third question. What's up, John? What do we got? What is the trademarked name for the UFC's 8-sided fighting enclosure? What
Oh, the octagon.
this, John? This was like, come on, yeah, this was easy peasy
Yeah.
lemon squeeze. Yeah, that
I
was,
appreciate it.
yeah, fair, yeah, they
We're gonna bring
they-
we're gonna bring Nathan on again anyway. Obviously we're cutting this episode a little bit short.
I can't hear him if he's talking.
Up, he can't hear you. We're running into the same issue again. Can you hear him now,
No.
Hello.
John?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Can't hear him. StreamYard is just having these issues lately. We're gonna have to call some people and
It's all
have a
good.
conversation.
Yeah.
John, yes, leave and come again.
See you in a moment, my friend.
What is happening here? I bet he's restarting his gear. I don't know. Let's see how this goes. Because John, okay, is it
Can
working?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right,
I'm back.
cool.
Sweet.
Okay. All right. We had some technical difficulties. You did amazing on that. I did throw that up together last minute. I apologize.
That's all good, man.
Obviously, with the press conference, I intend on bringing you back because this episode is probably a little shorter, a little more pressed than we normally are.
Yeah, and I want to apologize too.
Oh,
I
it's
was
all
the
good,
one
brother.
that like legitimately, I'm the one that that did the scheduling and stuff, and I tried. I definitely don't want your episode to feel pressed or anything like that. I should have tried to space that apart a little bit better. I was trying to work on multiple schedules, so we definitely want to have you back on in a way that you actually have our full attention as well, man. So
if you really want to fight on short notice, we'll put Jeremy out for you at Rival this Saturday, May 9th.
I don't think we're in the same weight class. So
Brother, I'm 109 pounds. What the
Okay,
frick
I'm
are you
I'm
talking about?
190 right now. So
well, it's okay. We're gonna
So
put
he's officially two of me. You could put me on your head and almost be there. Okay, look. Like, come on now.
it'll be the
But
great.
no, man.
It'll be the greatest.
Uh,
Ever.
well, we'll definitely have to have you back on. I am about to have to head out myself in order to get ready for this rival conference. I apologize again for the
oh,
overscheduling. And like
yeah,
I
it's all
said,
good, my guy.
um, but yes, I definitely want to have you back on, and we will reach out about that because I think we've got some openings here soon too. So,
Yeah,
um, thank you very much, man, and I really appreciate your time. I'm gonna go ahead
yeah,
and head out and get ready
right
for
on,
the
bro.
press conference. So,
Nice to
thank you
meet you, man.
again, man.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
All right, my man. Just me and you.
Hey, it works, bro.
All right, man. I do have one last question for you. I feel like, what has been your most rewarding moment in your fight career so far?
Mm, honestly, probably the knockout of Drake Pope, just because he was winning the fight and he's a big dude. He had more experience than me. And he was winning, man. And I remember when he right before I knocked him out, I slipped and I fell. And when I fell, all I said, like I told myself in my head, I was like, "You got to get up and get some respect and just crack him." You know what I mean? Just crack him. And then like, we was both tired. It was a hell of a fight, but he came off the cage and he came off the cage kind of lazy, and I just one-two'd him, and it was over.
That's great. Do you feel like it was that last minute bout of energy that gave you that win?
I was when I fought him, I was pretty in shape. Like I was very dedicated to my conditioning and my cardio, and it was. I think I fought him. I think maybe I said July earlier, but I actually fought him in March of 24. But it was nice out, you know what I mean? So I was always running. My cardio was good, and I knew that if I just pressed him, because he's a good technical kickboxer, and I was really aggressive, and that was the game plan, was just to go in there and make him actually like brawl me. And
Okay, okay.
I'm not the prettiest fighter, man, but hey, I get it in, and I find a way to win. You know?
Sometimes, honestly, man, sometimes just having that good pressure is all you need. Like, I see a lot of these amateur fighters; they have no pressure game. They're
Yeah,
afraid to engage. You see a lot of distance fighting. You see a lot of little tap tap and then just
yeah,
tap tap. And
exactly, man.
a lot of time, if like I was sparring with someone recently, and I was doing like I worked the jab. I did a lot of boxing, and I told
Yeah,
him, "Hey, when you use this, use it to push through. Push through.
yeah,
Don't just tap. Actually punch through the guard and then
yeah,
up. Because once
yeah.
the guard's broke, it's weak. It's
People
gonna
don't
take,
use their jab enough, man.
yeah, man. It's a sword. Use it like a sword.
It
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 is
is.
thing.
I try to. Can I say one more thing real quick?
Yeah, no, you good. Go ahead.
Uh, we have a 15-year-old that trains with us. He's super dedicated, probably the most dedicated athlete I know, and he cross trains at a lot of other places as well. But he had you know what IKF is? International Kickboxing Federation.
I probably heard of it in passing.
Well, they host shows all over America and other countries, but we had one here, and I finally got to get him because minors aren't allowed to compete
Right, right.
here. So I finally got to get him a matchup, and he won uh, the gold medal in his tournament over the weekend. It's just a point sparring tournament, but they let you spar pretty hard, and he did pretty well, man. What I'm getting at though is I try to preach to him like you're a good boxer, man. Like your boxing will take you far in this if you can mix in some kicks. You know, like your jab especially.
Facts. I feel like a lot of people don't understand the tools that they're given, and a lot of times these tools aren't explained in the proper way.
Yeah.
Like as I saying with the jab, right? I had to think of it like a fencing, like in a fencing manner, like when they use the sword and they're pushing
Yep.
where they're jabbing, and you're trying to actually jab the person's
Yeah.
center or whatever. And once I started to think of it in that context, I was like, oh, okay, now just punch through.
Started clicking. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've actually heard that a lot about the fencing.
yeah, a lot of boxing comes from pugilism comes from French fencing, I believe. I could be wrong. I could believe.
Hey,
I
that's
I
my. I like boxing, man. I like using my hands more most of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did a lot more traditional boxing training than I did kickboxing. I only started fucking with the kicks on the side at home.
Right.
I think I'm pretty good. I don't think I'm Joe
Hey,
Rogan,
hey,
but
right. As long as you know,
I'd hate to be on the receiving side of it. That's all.
man, I'm telling
I mean, I don't know. People give too much shit to kickboxers. I think it's a difficult sport. I can't
you.
imagine
Yeah,
getting kicked in the head like that. I've seen way too many dudes go to sleep from a good slap to the head.
I'm
So,
telling you, man. And all it takes is that foot to connect right, and it's over.
hmm
Uh, like I said earlier, I've seen a lot of guys get knocked out with shin pads on still.
yeah, man.
Uh, guy I train with out of Bloomington, Indiana. He trains with a group called the Basement Boys. They're a very talented group of guys, and they fight on a lot of Coleman cards. But he knocked the dude out with shin pads, and I mean, dude was stiff.
I mean,
And
people forget like it's only like less. It's like less than an inch of padding.
yeah, it's not much. It's not
It-
much at all.
no, it's a cushion at best.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think like I said, my best friend, I want to give him a shout out. His name's D Perkins. He's 1-0. He's he's got as much experience as me. He's very talented. He just hasn't been as active, but he's looking to get more active. But he's looking to get into MMA. I think maybe one more kickboxing fight, and then he's going to transition. So,
I shout out. And you want to give a shout out to your gym, your Instagram,
oh yeah,
your
bet.
family, coaches, name them all. Go ahead, man. We some
Uh,
guys give off 100.
all right, yeah, I got you. Yeah, y'all can go follow us on Foundation MMA. Myself and D, the guy I was just talking about, we run that page together. Um, we started it when we were at the gym, and then the gym shut down, so we kind of just took it over as our thing. Started calling it Foundation. We got a few guys that come train with us consistently. We cross train quite a bit, and all the footage, like not all the footage, but a lot of the footage, all the fight news for us, fight highlights, all that is on Foundation. You can find the links to everything on Foundation. Um, you can go to my Instagram, which is Nathan underscore Clouse 2023. That has all my personal stuff for fighting. I actually just made that into my personal fighting Instagram. I got my highlight clips of all my fights on there, even the one I lost. Um, yeah, man, we really don't have any coaches. Like I said, me and D, we pretty much coach each other, coach the other guys. The other guys will give us pointers here and there. When we cross train, that's when we really get a great benefit because we can, obviously different sparring looks, different drills, stuff like that. I do want to shout out the Basement Boys because they're a great team to work with. I also train with a guy named Connor Barr. He's a Taekwondo heavy kickboxer. Uh, he's one of the first actual fighters I started training with D, and he's really good. Also, he hasn't fought for a while, but he's a problem, and I wanted to shout him out too because he's definitely showed me a lot about my kicking game. The Taekwondo guys are crazy with the kicks, man.
Yeah, they are.
Um, I do want to give a shout out to all the dudes I fought too, because every one of them made me a better fighter, no matter what, win or lose. I take something home with me every time.
Absolutely.
So
That's big love, man.
yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Listen, it's been an honor to have you on. Absolutely. I'm gonna reach out afterwards. We're gonna
Yeah,
maybe schedule another podcast, get a little bit more time airtime in. I feel like you
yeah, no
just,
problem, man.
you've been giving us a lot of love, so we're gonna give it back. It's been an honor having you on, learning a little bit more about your story, getting to hear a bit about these experiences. Um, my man, I'm stumbling. I'm not used to actually.
Yeah, you're good, bro.
It's been 2 whole seasons since I've actually had to close out on my own. Guys, this has been the JMA podcast. This has been 317, Nathan's area code. Uh,
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy too.
all right. Guys, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Till next time, I'm John Murray. That's Nathan Clouse. This has
Yep.
been the JMA podcast. Peace.
Later, guys.